Live only on DAZN, October 25th, Parker versus Wardley. Two champions lie in wait. Who will get a shot at Undisputed? It's truly all or nothing. Parker versus Wardley, October 25th. Watch only on DAZN.
Whether you agree with the stoppage or not last night, it has to be said that with Joseph Parker, mistakes were definitely made. Mistakes were made in terms of how he reacted to being hurt by Fabio Wardley, not just in round 11 and round 10, but earlier in the fight, but in particular round 11, where Fabio Wardley's putting it on him. Yes, not a lot of the shots are landing, but you really should have held, which you didn't. And Fabio Wardley was holding quite well whenever Joseph Parker had him backed up to the ropes. You really should have held. Or at that moment in time, when the referee, and you're not punching back, and the referee is Howard Foster of all people, you really need to be considering just taking a knee. Taking a knee, you get an 8 count. It's roughly 10 to 15 seconds in terms of time. It buys you some time. It's early in the round. He's throwing everything but the kitchen sink and he's already knackered, Fabio Wardley. So you have a chance to get back into it if you can just ride out that storm. Well, he didn't. But that's only one thing that Joseph Parker really didn't do right in this fight. I go back to the weigh-in. I go back to what I said at the weigh-in. I go back to what I said in my final thoughts. The biggest mistake that Joseph Parker made in this fight was done in camp. It was done by the absolute numbskull who decided to have him come in the 260s. Why? Why? When Joseph Parker was weighing in the mid-240s, his legs are a lot faster, mobile, looking good, combinations are good. Punching power is the same at 245 as it's going to be at 260. It's simple as. You're probably not going to be hitting much harder, if anything at all. I don't understand where this whole pack weight on, you're stronger, you hit harder. Alexander Usyk was outweighed by what, 20 odd pounds by Daniel Dubois? He's hitting plenty hard, isn't he? Is he going to be hitting any harder if he's weighing 240? No, probably not anyway. Is he going to be any more fleet of foot? Hell no. Is he going to have better stamina? Hell no. Is he going to have better coordination? You guessed it, hell no. I can't understand where this logic comes from. I really can't. It's just so baffling the way you have these people. Every single time it happens, it's like people don't learn. I'm not talking about Parker, but just in general, in boxing circles. It's like, you look at Alexander Usyk, and I use him as a prime example. Moved up from cruiserweight. Weighed in the 2 teens for his certainly his first heavyweight fight. So he's literally him, what he weighs in the ring of cruiserweight, just without cutting. Realises, and he's getting older, so naturally the weight will slightly come on, but realised, right, my ideal weight is in the 220s. That's when I'm at my best. That's when I'm my most mobile, I'm my most fleet of foot, I have good stamina, I have everything, right? So stay in around that weight. I don't have to weigh 220 every fight, but as long as I'm in around that cusp of 225 to 220, I'm good. I'm in a good place. I retain my strength. I retain my stamina. The advantage is that the likes of Tyson Fury, the likes of Anthony Joshua, Daniel Dubois have over me in terms of height, reach, physical strength. I can't get around that. There's nothing I can do. I can't make my arms longer. I can't make myself grow 5 inches. I can't, and although Alexander Usyk's physical strength in his clinch game is really good, it's really good actually, at the end of the day, he can't, get around those things. So he doesn't try. He doesn't try and compete with them at their own game. He focuses on his strengths. And me being this weight, 220, 222, whatever he is, he has all those strengths. He's more coordinated than those guys. He's faster. He has a better punch output. His feet are better, etc., etc., etc. He's focusing on his strengths. Now, if he went and put on, as some people say he needs to do, an extra 15 pounds, it's not going to work. Deontay Wilder, right? Deontay Wilder in the first Fury fight, he wore a mask, didn't he, at the weigh-in? And he wore something else as well. And I think even then, he was still only like 210 pounds. So you're talking, Deontay Wilder was probably about 205, thereabouts pounds for the first Fury fight. All right? And the first Fury fight, because he ended up getting stopped in the trilogy fight. So the first Fury fight was probably his best fight with Fury, because he won maybe a round or 2, and then he had the 2 knockdown rounds. So that's why it was so close. I still felt Fury won. Second fight, he packs weight on, and he gets stopped. The trilogy fight, he comes in nearly 240 pounds. Bear in mind, this is a man who has his best performances, not even in the 220s, in the 2 teens. Comes in nearly 240. He's got a Tyson Fury there who hasn't trained properly, who hasn't taken this fight serious, right? And he's blowing Deontay Wilder after 1 round. And he's knackered. Although he nearly won the fight, Deontay Wilder's always going to be a tremendous puncher, whether he's 240 or whether he's 210. Came back to bite him in the ass. All right, that fight was there for Wilder to win. I am convinced, right? I'm not saying he would have won, but I'm convinced that fight would have been on a knife edge if Wilder had just weighed his normal weight. You're never going to push Fury back. It's not going to happen. He's bigger and stronger than you. You ain't going to push him back. Focus on your strength. You didn't do that. Same with Joseph Parker. You fought Joe Joyce and you weighed 255 pounds, which at the time, 3 years ago, me and several others were saying, why did you do that? Why did you come in this heavy? You're not going to push Joe Joyce back. If he gets in a dogfight, he's going to win. Focus on your boxing. Focus on your movement. Focus on your feet. Focus on all the things that you are good at. Don't try and, fight fire with this guy. He's going to win. And he's much stronger than you. And he ended up getting, ironically, in round 11. Although that was a clean stoppage. There's no issues there with the stoppage that night. Then he goes and he fights Wilder. He's 245. Looks good in that fight. Fights Zhang. I think he's still in the 240s. Obviously, he's bullied a bit by Zhang in there, but he still ends up winning the fight. But Zhang's a 6'6", 6'7", 300-pound man. You're never going to be stronger and you're never going to push him back. It's just the way it is. And then inexplicably, he goes and announces he's going to fight Daniel Dubois for the world title. Fair enough. Fight doesn't happen in the end. But he comes in 267. What did you think was going to happen? Daniel Dubois is always going to ragdoll you, no matter what weight you are. Not going to say he's necessarily going to beat you, but ragdoll you in terms of physical strength, because Dubois is a physical. Dubois was ragdolling AJ in there. It's just not, you know what I mean. So all this packing weight on, I'm going to hit. Your feet looked as slow as anything. Your punch output was dropping dramatically round to round. 1 round it was good, 1 round it was bad. There was no consistency there with your punch output. And then ultimately you end up getting stopped, because I think by then the stamina was gone, the tank was depleted, and I don't think Parker had the wherewithal to hold. Plus he was also trying to go for a knockout, which when he was boxing, it was just working. I don't get it. What's going on here? So for me, there was a lot of mistakes that Joseph Parker made in that fight. Yes, the stoppage was premature, in my opinion, and the opinion of what seems to be the majority of fans. But there's elephants in the room here you can't be ignoring. Joseph Parker made some catastrophic mistakes in there. And why? Where is this notion that you pack on all this extra weight, it's going to make a difference? When has it worked? Well, it worked against Martin Bakoli. Oh, brilliant. It worked against the guy who was literally sat in the Congo 2 days before the fight, fat as anything, got up off his couch, had to get a flight, and God knows, and missed the weigh-in, and then arrives barely able to walk. Oh, it worked against him. Well, I'd be worried if it didn't. You could have tied one hand behind your back, it would have worked against, but you wouldn't be doing that against Fabio Wardley, would you? All this put on the weight, it'll make you, it's been done. Done to death. It's never worked. Never worked. Joe Parker needed to focus on what was going to win him that fight, which was his boxing, his movement, and his stamina. And coming in 262, eroded all of that. So he only has himself to blame for a lot of the mistakes he made in there, in my opinion. And that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Joseph Parker weighing in 262. Yes, the stoppage was premature. He was winning the fight. But I can't ignore what that did. For me, weighing in that heavy, feet looked very, very slow. Punch output was so erratic. I mean, Joe Parker normally is quite consistent with his punch output. Some rounds he barely threw on it, and some rounds he threw a few. Some rounds you see what I mean here. So I think Joseph Parker, there was a lot that went wrong for him in this fight. And it needs to be addressed. And I think Joseph Parker can still... It's going to be hard, but I think he can still do something at world level at heavyweight. Yes. But it's just mind-blowing. Focus on what works for you. You didn't do that. So there's my thoughts on that. Let me know yours in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, if you could, people, smash the like button, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. And until next time, I'll leave it there. Peace.